Alright filmmakers, Christian Schuh here, and let's cut straight to the chase. How to charge for your services as a filmmaker. I know that's a big topic, and if you ask 10 filmmakers around, you will get 10 different opinions. And now it's time for you to know my opinion, which is number 11. No, of course not, I'm just kidding. When I started in 2015, honestly, I had no idea about how to charge, how much is appropriate. I mean, I never went to film school. I haven't learned DOP or first AC or director or gaffer or anything like that, where you can easily find rates out there. Hourly rate, daily rate, weekly, monthly rate, something like this. Very easy to find. With me, as a beginning filmmaker back then, it was not easy to know what is the right amount that I can charge to my clients. And I want to walk you through this topic with me now. So in this video, I'm sharing how to set your rates, how to negotiate with clients, and how to get paid on time. So let's dive right in with me. There are a few factors that you need to consider when it comes about to set your rates. And one, of course, is the experience you have. And the other one is the location you are in, like the country you are living in, you are offering your service in. And of course, the project itself. Obviously, you will charge less for social media content than for a broadcast film production. So let me tell you about my story. I was super lucky at the beginning. I decided to build up my green screen studio and become a full-time filmmaker in 2015. And I set up the green screen studio, and I had no idea how to get clients and how to start doing what I'm doing now. And luckily I was introduced to a business owner and by a friend back then. And this business owner used to have ties with the Mallorca Open, the WTA, and the company who is setting up this big tennis tournament. When I say big tennis tournament, it's actually a rather small tournament, but it's important because it's the last grass tennis tournament before Wimbledon. So, and it's on a beautiful island, maybe one of the most beautiful islands in the world. So it was very clear that to this WTA Mallorca Open, all the important and professional women tennis players will come and will participate. My job was in this to film background, to film for the company that's called Emotion, to film a after movie of all of these Mallorca Open. Of course, the WTA, they bring their own camera personal when it comes to professionally filming the tennis match. But everything around is actually not really happening. And that was my job. I was responsible for filming there and for doing all of this. Now, besides that, I had no idea on how to do it, and my learning curve was steep, and I needed to watch hundreds of YouTube videos. Being confident enough to start this, it also helped me, of course, to set my first rate rather high, because it was an important event and there were not many filmmakers that would accept on such a short notice. I mean, we are talking about, are you ready to go next week? Yeah, I was ready. So lucky me in this part. But of course, not everyone out there has this luck at this moment. So it's about determining the rate and how to set your rate. So I've done some research, and it turns out that a video, a corporate video between 2 to 3 minutes long in the US, Australia, Canada, Germany, UK, Singapore, and UAE averages about 3,000 to 10,000 US dollar. So now from where comes this huge difference? I mean, 3,000 to 10,000 is $7,000 difference. So how can it be that there is such a huge difference in between the pricing and the rate that will be set for this kind of video? Well, it's actually easy to explain. You can think about the project itself. It depends on whether one person is enough or not, whether there is visual effects and sound effects, special effects needed or not, whether there is some certain special equipment needed. Are we talking about a tripod and a camera, or are we talking about a fly cam that runs 100 meters in the air? All of this determines the price and sets the price. And of course, the most important part is the experience of you. Did you do that before? Maybe 100 times, and you know exactly what you're doing, and you know that what you're doing is making this company more successful? Or is it your first shot and you are full with enthusiasm and you love what you're doing and you want to do your best, but still you have little to less experience and you want to also gain experience with this? And of course you need to set other rates. And to give you a little overview of what is average within this industry, I've brought some numbers with me. So most important is that you are not afraid to charge what you're worth. This is really important. And to give you some understanding of the average rates, I brought in some numbers. A branding video will be around $7,000. A testimonial video, $2,000. Same with explanation video and weddings, the weddings for the full day. All of this will be around $2,000 per day or per video. Ads and performance videos, they go up again, $7,000. Recruiting videos, you can charge roughly $5,000. And for social media content creation, you will be roughly about $2,000 per month. Okay, now you've set your rate, right? You are fully sure with your rate, you know what you can charge. Now it's about negotiating and negotiation skills. How to negotiate with your client, and moreover, negotiate about what? What I recommend you is that you start negotiating, if your client wants to negotiate, not about the price, but about the work itself. What do I mean by that? You can negotiate about the scope of works or payment terms. You can, for example, come forward to your client by offering him to only pay 20% now and then 30% before you film, like one day before, then you film, and then another 50% later, only after you have done your video, instead of paying 100% upfront, for example. You can even come further if you are able to do that and give him some subscription model or some rates. He can pay you in 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 times and not in 1 time or 2 times only. This is what also can help your client to accept your pricing. You also need to know, is this a one-time project, or are we going to talk about a long-term agreement? Is your client booking you for 1 year and you need to film every week? Or is your client booking you for 1 week only? This also has a huge impact, of course, on your price. You can offer your client a different price if you regularly do similar things for him and you help him achieving the big goal, but video by video instead of just having one project only. What I always ask you to do is you have to be prepared. You need to know your service in and out. You need to know all what you offer, your prices that you charge. You need to know all of this, and you need to be prepared. Your client will ask you questions and you need to answer them best immediately and directly where you are. There are 2 more things I want to tell you that I think that are important. In my opinion, respect isn't a one-way street. Yes, you need to respect your client, but at the same time your client needs to respect you. And if you offer him a brand film for $5,000, euro, or whatever currency, and he says, oh, I want to give you 500, this has nothing to do with respect. This is no respect for work or anything, because if the client wants to know that easily, he can just Google what is the standard, and the standard in this part is like 7,000 plus. Yeah? For example, when it comes to this, I charge a lot more than 7,000 because I know what I'm doing, and that's all the time that I'm doing this. That is determined from my experience, from the awards I've won, and so on and so on and so on. But even as a starter in filmmaking, if you set your rate with 5,000 and your client wants to give you 1/10 of it, no need to stay. You can just walk away. That's the second tip that I want to give you. Don't be afraid to walk away. You don't want to have all the clients in the world. Yeah? And when it comes to this, I want to share a story with you. A few years ago, I got a contact to Europe's biggest water filling company, in organic filling company. Like what they do is basically they are bottling water. Yeah? They are bottling water from a source which is fully organic, and it will be distributed mostly in Germany, Austria and Switzerland throughout their huge chains and huge connections of organic supermarkets. So it's the market leader. And I was supposed to film for TV commercials, a few TV commercials for this brand. And I've never done food and beverage before. So I've been talking with the boss of this company, with the CEO, with the founder, with the marketing director. And I told them what I told everyone when I'm new with something. I told them, I can do that, I know I can do that, but I cannot show you any experience in food and beverage or in drinks because I simply don't have it. So I can fully understand if you want to choose somebody who is experienced and like have this niche food and beverage or drinks, like somebody who did 10 commercials already for Coca-Cola or Pepsi or whatever brand there is out there. They're really popular with these kind of commercials. And so ultimately we actually both agreed that they choose somebody to do these commercials that have experience in the food and beverage sector, and I'm happy about it. I was happy about it that they decide for this, because it would have meant also a huge learning curve for me, a steep learning curve, because it's a very special niche. Food and beverage is a totally different topic to what I do most of the time when it comes to filming, and it's not easy. It might take time to achieve this, and it for sure will take me and the team behind a lot more time to achieve this than it takes some team who is used to do this. So that's what I mean when I say also don't be afraid to walk away. Not only when they underestimate you and don't respect you, but also when you say, hey, this is something that I'm not sure if I can handle it, if I can manage it, and be strong enough to say, let me do something else first. I would love to do that, but let me do something else first, and then next time I will be able to do that. Okay, and let me add you another thing from my own experience. A client who is willing to spend 20, 30, 50 or even $100,000 with you for filmmaking, they are the most easy clients you can imagine. And this is what I really can tell you from my own experience. They expect you to do a good job. That's not the problem. That's standard. They expect you to deliver whatever you need to deliver, but they let you do your things because they know that they don't know what you need to do and how you do it. They know your outcome is good for them. They know you will do a good video for them. You will achieve what you are promised, what you have promised them. That's what they know. Those people who want to discuss with you, negotiate with you about $200, they are the troublemakers. Those people are the ones who want to be involved in every step, always have some creative idea for you to fulfill. They always want to decide on this and on that, on the small little detail. And those people are the ones who really don't make you happy at all. And another important point, those are the people who don't pay on time. And that brings me to my last point, how to make sure that your client pays on time. One important part that I learned in my filmmaking career is you need to have terms and conditions. In fact, I never needed them. In my whole life, I never needed them one time, but I have them and they are tough. Those terms and conditions are so tough. They are 15 or 16 A4 pages in a very small font. And I love them because they ensure me that my client, of course, they sign them. They sign them when they sign the contract, and they help me. They reassure me I never needed them, but I have them. And that's very, very good already. And in making sure you have them, you sit down, you write down, you maybe have a lawyer look over them. It will make sure that you most probably also will never need those, but you have them. The next point that I can highly recommend you to be paid on time is you need to take 50% in advance and then 50% before delivery of your video. If you can make this work out, it's pretty easy and you will be paid on time. For me, myself, nowadays I charge 100% in advance. And yes, it's working. And yes, the client understands and they do that. And the clients who don't understand this, they wouldn't pay me on time anyway. And I want to be paid on time because I also deliver on time. I deliver to the deadlines. I fit the deadlines always. So I also want to have my money on time. The next points are, you need to get a signed contract. Let your client sign you your offer. That helps definitely. What helps as well is you need to be persistent. You don't wait long until you send the invoice. Send the invoice right away. Send it right away. Your client needs to understand, okay, this is serious business I'm having here with this filmmaker and I want to stick to it. There are a few other things I want to share with you that I do and that helps me also to satisfy my clients. I like to offer packages of videos. Like you have an event, okay, there you have a package, what is all included. As well, I like to be the all-in-one solution. I don't want my client to be necessary to check with this and check with that, and oh, I need drone footage, oh sorry, I'm not doing any drone footage, all right, he will need another one. No. I do all in one. I'm his person, his filmmaker, and I take care of everything filmmaking related. Very important. Also very important to keep this client as your client and not lose this client to maybe a competitor. Another important thing is you need to talk with your client about expectations. And not only his expectations, also your expectations. It must be very, very clear what we are expecting from each other. And only then we can do our best. And talking about expectations also helps to understand the other person better. That's one thing. But also helps maybe your client has too high expectations, not on you, but on general in filmmaking, and you need to tell him, wait. Nobody will be able to fulfill this. You need to understand that. So you make sure that you communicate good with your client about this. Another thing is that is very important in my opinion is to have a good relationship with your client, build up a good relationship with your client. Very, very important that this is maybe not only a business, but also a good and well-known person for you. One more important thing, last thing here is communicate clearly. There will be things happening anyway. There will be challenges, there will be problems occurring. You need to communicate with your client clearly and honestly, directly from the start. He will be your best friend if you do this. So if you follow these tips, you can make sure that you are paid fair as a filmmaker. You can make sure that you're paid on time, and you can make sure that the communication between you and your client works perfectly. So we are at the end of this video, and I truly hope I was able to help you on your filmmaking journey. If there was something in this video that you've liked and that helped you, please also help me and like my video, comment on it and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date to the newest filmmaking tutorials as well as tips and tricks when it comes to commercial production and commercial filmmaking. Until then, see you soon again and keep it rolling.